Yeah! Yeah! Hello and welcome to this Warno 1v1 game. We're on Airport Duel, and today we've got North Korean Thousands of Orcses playing as 11th ACAV up against Clement, playing as 2nd UK Infantry Division. Quite surprising to see him on something that's not 101st. This guy's basically famous in the community for heli rushing every time, and it looks like it's business as usual today. So, looking at the deployments, basically red is on the good side. It's the good side because alpha's a lot harder to attack and easier to defend than Papa. And red gets this building, which is very, very useful. Having said that, you know, Echo is supposed to be red zone, and blue can rush into Echo at the start. Whereas Foxtrot is supposed to be blue zone. It's harder to defend, and you can hypothetically rush into it at the start. Either way, I would say the map is red side favoured, and most people would agree with me on that. So, looking at the deployments, got all 6 SAS deployed at the start. Not a cheap unit, 120 points when you include the transport, but it is a very, very good unit, and since they added 2 machine guns to it, it's pretty insane. I actually think 2nd UK is a bit too strong at the moment, and if it was up to me, which it's not, I would reduce the base veterancy of the SAS by 1, so they come in at 2 vet by default. So if you want 6, they'd be coming in at 2 vet, or you could up vet them, and it would just go, you know, 3-2. Like Green Beret ODA on 101st Airborne. And then if you wanted the 3 vet super soldier, you'd only get 4 of him, and if you wanted sort of still an extremely good unit, you would get 6 2 vet, but whatever, that's besides the point. So we've got 5 of them going over here, and then over to here. So he really wants to try and take Foxtrot at the start. And 1 going here, which is quite surprising, because like, it's not really accomplishing anything there. Except being a stinger. So he's got a sniper going to the tall building, but why? What's this doing here? Like, I would be sending it to here, basically. Because if you're here, like, what's the point? It's not a long-range unit. It's got a stinger, but you can't take advantage of the fact that you're actually an extremely good anti-infantry squad, an anti-vehicle squad. If you're here, right? Whereas if you're here, you can stop rushes coming in here. And then if you get smacked around a bit, you just fall back. Fall back 1 building, fall back 2 buildings. Getting back across here is going to be quite tough, but you can do some zany stuff with the Saxon because it's got smoke. You could like put it here and then pop the smoke and then run across this gap. It's hard to do, but it is possible. And then we've got arm rifles going here as well, so he's just completely abandoned Echo in favour of Russian Foxtrot. So air mobile scouts now only come in the links because they got AT added. So this is now an extremely strong squad as well. It's got 4 machine guns for 70 points, and it's got laws. So yeah, a very strong division 2nd UK. Very, very strong division 2nd UK. I do think that SAS change would be a good one, but whatever. People just call me a traitor. So he's going to go here, and then he's going to change altitude, and then he's going to go to here, and that's not actually going to do anything because it'll immediately raise altitude again. And he's going to go over to here and land. So that's an interesting one. And behind that, we've got Puma Supply, same course. All 6 Gazelle rockets, same thing again. Assault Pioneers, CV thing. I mean, it's just a CV. And the Airborne Milan 2. It's kind of weird that he's putting them here. Like, surely you would, you know, you'd want the Milan 2 in this building. You'd want the scouts in this building. You'd want the Gazelle rockets behind this, because then if anybody buys a plane, you just land them or lower altitude, and then the plane, if it's usually coming from this direction, because this is where the air spawn is. Nice of it to disappear when I try to zoom in on that. Yeah, what can I say? Interesting. Switching to his opponent's deployment, does he know this is going to happen? He's sending 1 LRS, and he's not pathed these. He's not pathed them, which is a big sad. But yeah, he seems to be anticipating that there will be a rush here. So the LRS I'm not sure if they'll get there first. They'll definitely get to like here first, but will they get here before the SAS do? Probably, but will they get here before the helicopters do? Especially this one, given that it starts further forwards. They probably still will do, given that this is going to be doing some weird change altitude thing here. But yeah, these haven't been pathed, and then he's got a Stinger, which, you know, it can one-shot the Gazelle rockets, but it'll probably be overwhelmed. An I-Hawk, which can one-shot any of those helicopters, but no, well, he does actually have a supply for it. And then a CV going Bravo Foxtrot, so, you know, not a bad defensive force, especially if, like, so you'll notice there's no ATG, well, actually, I suppose this has a regular tow on it, which does 16 pen, which is not a lot. But yeah, maybe he'll probably buy like a Jaguar cluster first tick, so these will probably die to that unless the I-Hawk can intercept it. That's my guess. I haven't seen this. LRS going to here. That's fair enough. I mean, this is obviously more vision because communists can see further than atheists, basically. So, like, if you're in a commie block like this, you can see pretty far. Whereas if you know, the atheist next door can't see so far, right? They can't see so far. But if you're a Christian, you know, then you go to church, then, like, religious people can see further than atheists as well. But, you know, communism's like a sort of a religion, right? So they can see pretty far too. Also, being an airport control tower enthusiast is also sort of a religious pursuit as well, so they can see pretty far. And that's another reason why Red's side is stronger, because their zone has the airport control tower in it. And it actually has several. It's got at least two, whereas Blue's zone doesn't. Anyway, LRS going to that, and then BGS Streiser. So this is a very effective squad for 20 points. Very good recon for 20 points. And he's putting it here, which is an airport control tower, so they'll be able to see pretty far. And then, okay, that's a weird deployment. So he's really expecting a push here. So 2 Heimat Schützen Jaeger. They get 18 now. Stinger, another I-Hawk. Where's that going? Here, okay. And then 2 Panzer Grenadiers in Marders. So, yeah, he's playing it really defensively, which I guess you sort of have to do in this matchup. We'll cast the game, we'll do it from this perspective. Right, so they're off, and it's time for me to thank the generous channel joiners, generously joining the channel. They get the videos in advance, they get the names on the screen. They occasionally notice people forgetting to path 3 units. These are obviously extremely important given that the rush is coming here. Oh dear, I wonder if you'll notice. You know, at the higher levels, you get your games cast at a rate of 1 per calendar month. You got to send me it on Discord. Some people, they're like, not sending me it. And then obviously I can't cast it if I don't have it. You can save them up and stuff, you know. So if you beat a high-ranking player, great way to get 1,500 people to see that. Somewhere around there. Sometimes it's 2k. Sometimes it's a bit less. I do apologise, I'm really ill. Went home for Christmas and one of my younger siblings coughed on me, so that's life, innit? Oh! I would have gone for this building, but yeah, here's good as well, because you can hide behind this, actually. Yeah, it's probably a better idea, actually, because you can hide behind this when the helicopter starts shooting you. He's put it on return fire, which is probably quite intelligent. You'll notice there's no... Like, this isn't actually a recon helo. Oh, man, that's why you don't clump them up. The I-Hawk killed 2 there. The F-16 kills another one. This is not going well at all for Red. At all. And then the Stinger gets 1. And then, look, the I-Hawk's killing 2 at once because he's clumped it up so much. So Blue now should recognise, okay, this is where all the stuff is. And these guys should be going over here. They should be, like, definitely going over there. The F-16s, you know, he's getting great value out of this. Oh, it's dead now. Because now the SAS have unloaded. Yeah, I don't know, like, Blue needs to exploit this, since it's like, from this, he will have seen that nobody came in this way, so we can move this up to here, load this back up, move this up to here, get the I-Hawk a bit closer. But yeah, the I-Hawk on this side has gone down, and this is soon to be messed up. But imagine if these were in position when that happened, you know? They'd be doing a lot of work. Like, this thing would probably be dead with a Bradley and the other guy shooting it. Like, this guy might be dead in the transport. He's done a great job at keeping this LRS out. I've got a really itchy nose, sorry. But people tell me I've got a Coca-Cola addiction, and yeah. And I apologize if there's like a couple cuts in the videos. It's just I keep having to stop to blow my nose, and obviously I would cut that out because nobody wants to see that. I do apologize. I will get well soon. Well, hopefully. Yeah. So yeah, no CV for Blue. Quite surprising. I mean, so instead of buying this, a CV here would have been a great idea. But well, he's got one here. And then red, like he's not. Where are these going? You gotta ask yourself that. So the zone is here. If you wanted to take out the zone, right, you would go here. Having one SAS in this can be very useful because yeah, it forces your enemies to fall back. And yeah, okay, here we go. Now he's going for the zone. So there are actually two F-16s here. So he must have had two cards of them because they come at 2 per card, and we saw one die. This high-back shots and Jaeger stores have been deployed. So yeah, now the SAS are caught out in the open, and it's like, this is not good at all. They should be in the buildings. The zone is here. Or they should be going for this. I would go like up this way and down this way, but then this guy might kill you because he is there and he doesn't actually know about it. So like, this is a... You're not really getting anywhere with this. These are very expensive units that you don't want to be isolated. And hopefully, depending on who you're rooting for, the North Koreans can exploit this gap here and, you know, just like drive these forwards and get them shooting all that SAS in the open. There's no ATGMs here. Like, this thing hasn't used its autocannon. You see, he's using the Saxons literally just to buy time to get the SAS back. But they should never really have come over here. And he should be... Yeah, that's classic Clement, that is. He did that in the last game of his I cast as well. I'll link that in the description if I remember. Basically, he's taken this position, he's done a really good job, so the next thing you do is you buy a bunch of stuff and you start reinforcing this. Milan 2 here, Milan 2 here. You know, some supply. But instead, he's just building up for his next epic helicopter thing, and in the meantime, all these units are sat here not doing anything, like these two especially. Should have been put one here, and then these two wouldn't have been able to kill all those, well, force the SAS back. They haven't actually managed to kill any, I think. 4, 5, 6, yeah. So that's a big shame, because look, I mean, you got to think about this like an economist. I did an AS level in economics, which is sort of like, it's like a 1-year qualification. You do it when you're... oh no, he's flying over the SAS. Will they stop? They did stop. This should be a very dead F-16. Okay, that was pretty lucky. I think maybe this one didn't stop, and obviously this one got stunned by the ACAV. But yeah, this Bradley, you know, it could have really done a number on him if he'd just driven forwards. And same with this, like, he's put it on attack move, which can be useful, but it... You know... I suppose what he has to be careful of is the Jaguar cluster coming and killing this, but instead of buying a Jaguar cluster and coming and killing this, Clement is just... blobbing back here. So big shame. Now he's bought the HE one instead of the cluster one. He's coming in from this side though, which is interesting. I guess he's worried about AA over here, and there is AA over here, so smart to worry. And yeah, Blue, you know, he really could have taken this, right? There was actually nobody there. Set the recon unit and just probed it. So will this get that? It probably won't kill it. Yeah, but it stuns it up a bit. Because you lost vision on it. The Eyehawk hits it, so you're not going to be seeing that for a while. This Eyehawk is behind a building, so it's not aiming properly because of buildings in the way. So, typically you want it somewhere like this, because I'm pretty sure the building's messing him up there. And now he's bought another HE bomber. Yeah, so really, really strong start for Clement, but then, like, so for example, this was here for ages, and now he's getting rid of the links. Like, why didn't he just send this over here? Why is there not a single unit over here? You know, send the Warrior Milan over there, send a Saxon over there, a vehicle, anything. Like, make sure that's empty. And same for the other side, like, Blue can probe this. Is there anybody there? I saw a lot of units over here. Maybe there's somebody over there. And now you're in this really weird situation where actually Blue is going to start getting a lead now because Red took the zone, didn't reinforce it, and then ran away. The running away isn't the bad part, because keeping the SAS alive is very important, but he took all this, and he could have definitely gone for this, but he didn't. And so he's wasted his opportunity, and now Blue's actually on a +1 because Red hasn't capped this. So, okay, so he started to realise, oh yeah, empty zone here. Has he noticed that, yeah, he's still not remembered this. So yeah, just wasted opportunity for Red. His early push was really, really ballsy, and it paid off. I mean, he could have spread his guys out a bit more, and then they wouldn't have died. And then he's like wasting his potential, just blobbing for his next attack, whereas he should have capitalized on the first attack and reinforced, which he could have done really fast, given that all his stuff's coming in helicopters. They sell faster than wheeled vehicles, and they do get there faster. It depends how big the map is. On this map, they would get there faster. The main issue is, a Stinger might kill you, so you got to land behind the lines. And they take ages to land, and like a plane can come and shoot you down, but a plane flying over 4 SAS. So he did lose an SAS. Yeah, he lost it back here, didn't he, to the Bradley. So, yeah, just wasted opportunity for Red. Like, really wasted opportunity. He had it, and he just kind of threw it away. And now he's just sat here building up his next blob. It's really fancy looking. I mean, it honestly really surprises me how... So, if you want to play this game competitively, you should always be like this. So if you ever watch Balance Man play, he always plays from like maximum zoom. The icons would be smaller, and so you want to keep us in an optimum position. You want to keep as much of the map on your screen as possible, so that you can react to threats and notice threats faster, right? Because you can see as much as possible. I just play it like basically the default zoom, like whatever the default zoom is. I don't really zoom in or out. But it's crazy that there's like a whole other game in here, There's like you can zoom in and look at these things, and like that's so much work. How much work went into this model? How many tens of hours did it take to design that, paint that? And I don't know, like for me, it's like a whole part of the game that I just don't care about at all. But I think the average person probably does. So here we go. So Red, throwing his lead away here, and Blue has woken up and he's realised there's actually nobody here, and now I'm gonna walk in. So great for him, see how far he can get. Obviously D should be moving forwards, taking these outer buildings, get some AA up there, move the Stinger up, move the Ihawk up. And yeah, I don't know what is going on, really. The artillery purchase, yeah, I mean, it's good to get it in at some point. I would say you need to reinforce this first, but this is actually looking pretty secure now. He's got, Marders, he's got 2 Abrams, he's got Milan 2 coming, so yeah, this is probably the right time to buy the arty, start hitting those targets. I guess he can see that because of this. Yeah, I mean, I don't understand why Clement does this. It's just all LARP, I guess. Like, he could have won this. He was winning, and he just threw it away. I was talking about economics, wasn't I? Yeah, so you got to think about this like an economics does. We've got to think about this like an economist does. If you get 260 points a minute in benefits from Keir Starmer, and your opponent gets 260 points a minute in benefits from Keir Starmer, and you don't spend yours, and he does, then he is going to win. If you have a unit not doing something, that is wasted economic potential. But do you see what I mean? So this is honestly how economists think. It's pretty depressing, actually. They think a lot about opportunity cost. So if you buy something, and instead of buying something else, they see that as a cost. Like you're losing money if you buy something that doesn't generate money. It's quite a sad way to live. But it explains Warno perfectly. If you spend 1,000 points and leave them at the back of the map, like right under your mattress, not doing anything, and your opponent spends 1,000 points and starts Facebook, then he's going to end up with more. He's going to win, right? He's going to win because your money is sat there not doing anything. I mean, I'm of course very guilty of this in real life, not in Warno. I tend to spend my income. I'm of course very guilty of this. I've got savings in the bank. That's not the optimum way to live. The optimum way to live is to spend on something that will give you a return, invest, right? Whatever. Anyway, this was moving. Did you see that? So because he's got auto cover on, this was moving. Because it's trying to get back into its safe space. So we moved it out here, this was moving. So what happened there was, as soon as it left the range, this started moving and it lost its tracking. Whereas if it's stationary, you can turn off auto cover here, or just not put it in an open field next to a tree, because then it will automatically gravitate towards the tree. What was I saying? Sorry, I'm a bit under the weather. I was talking about opportunity cost. Anyway, there was a CV back here. It was a car CV. I don't understand where it's gone. Did he buy another one? Don't think so. Where has this been? It was here, right? Because this one was already here, and I saw definitely those CV here. Maybe it died and he actually did have 2 cards of it, although I don't know what could have killed it. Oh, yeah, of course. The tornado killed it. The tornado killed it. Anyway, Blue should be pushing this, right? So he's got this, so he knows that there's nothing there, and this has smoke on it anyway. So you send this over to here, then send it up to there, and then try and get it around the back, because if you can get it to here, they can't reinforce, because you're just going to shoot them. And then you send these forwards, get an engineer's dragon on this road, so like to there, so that, because this is obviously another reinforcement road. But yeah, I mean, it does make for some entertaining watching. But, you know, like, this is so much income. It's a shame there's no easy way to tell you, but if you think, like, so this is, because you got to think about the supply, the transport cost as well. This is just so many minutes of income. And, oh no, this is actually really unlucky for North Korean orcs, because these are about to run out of fuel. Okay, he's noticed it. I think this probably spotted him. Because I was going to say, if they don't shoot, then, you know. Right, okay, so more helicopter LARPing. It does make some entertaining watching. And then, look, they just ran out of fuel before they fired all their missiles. So that is really bad news for Blue, because he could have killed so much more of this. The next thing he needs to do is start buying stingers and putting them, like, here. Yeah, okay, so they're coming for this, right? So, yeah, you move your units up. Get this Marder thing over here. Remember this Heimat Jaeger. You could also get these and send them over here. An alternative is to say, okay, he's attacking over here with 10 trillion units. He must be really thin on the rest of the map. Move these forwards and take this zone. And attack here with all these units. Like, attack here. Because there's actually not a single ATGM here. Because all the units are over here, right? But it makes some very entertaining watching. It's just, das ist nicht optimal, as that guy says in Better Call Saul. You know, the one who builds the factory. He goes, das ist nicht optimal. I don't know why I remember that line. Anyway, Blue panicking by buying loads of planes. That's not how you do it. You buy ground units, right? The Marders are very useful in this case. And, you know, you push your other sectors. It's just, like, crazy. I mean, I don't know if it is luck or just that's just the way it is. Like, his guys ran out of fuel right away. And they did get all their missiles off on all this. Like, you'll notice Red didn't really defend this from the air. He could have had a couple of planes with it. Anyway, I wonder if he'll start selling some of these helicopters and get his money back. I guess not. Also, I really think what Red should have done here... So, if you want to be optimal, spending 10 minutes losing the rest of the map while you build up your force is not optimal, right? But once you've got a force like this, what you could have done is just gone straight for the spawn, because there's just so much crap there that Blue couldn't kill it all in time. And because he's not got pivads, I think he... Oh, man. If you've loaded up your transport guy, make sure he's not sat on the ground where he could die, you know. Because he was actually in the helicopter there, which is why one shot killed him. But yeah, good snipe from North Korean. And, yeah, he could have gone straight for the spawn, like in that Legion game, if you remember Legion. Because if he went straight for the spawn, Blue couldn't actually spawn anything anymore. Anyway, remember that Heimat Jaeger, and now it's dead. But... yeah, I mean, it's very, very powerful gameplay. But yeah, I really think he... So these are the ones that ran out of fuel before, I think. I didn't check the names, but yeah, there's one Sparrow one and one named 9-1. And yeah, he's needs to unload his AA, right? I mean... Yeah, he could have gone straight for the spawn and just taken the spawn with all that. And then he probably would win, because then he can starve out the rest of the map. Having said that, he doesn't really seem to like reinforcing his fronts once he takes ground. He just sort of builds up his next heli blob. So, here we go. Blue is attacking over here, and there's just nothing here. So, he's going to take that. So, power to him. Obviously, like, you know, this should probably be with that. And then you want to move the Eyehawk all the way up, and the Stinger as well, because the Jaguar cluster, which we're yet to see, would one-shot this. It's a very high priority target. And then, yeah, you move this forwards, you move this forwards. You don't really want your, you know, the Panzer Grenadier should be in front, basically. It's backwards to real life. In real life, of course, you get your, you get the vehicles go in front of the infantry, right? The infantry hides behind the vehicle because infantry is squishy and you don't want to lose loads of guys. In Warno, you're an uncaring monster, and men are cheaper than machines, so the men should go. Well, yeah, he's doing it right now. And yeah, he can move this up, especially because yeah, he's moving this up. So or he can move this one up because it's just not doing anything there. Like this guy, get that into this. But yeah, credit to Blue for retaking that. And, you know, basically, just remember the economics argument. Obviously, economists are basically slime, but no offense if any economists are watching this. But they wouldn't be a generous channel joiner anyway, because the opportunity cost of being a channel joiner is, I don't know, one more share in whatever. But yeah, if you've got a load of units sat around not doing anything, and your opponent is using all his units, your opponent's going to win, because you've spent money on it and it's not doing anything. So that was a Jaguar cluster. As you can see, one shots anything, but sadly he put two on the same target. He should have had one on that, and preferably one on this if he could still see it, but maybe he couldn't see it. He could have set this over to scout for it. So now the Helo blob's coming over here. And you'd expect it to take casualties. Like, what happened to that Marder? I guess it died. But, yeah, okay, so this time he has actually left units to reinforce this. I just... Like, why is this here? What's it doing? Do you know what I mean? What's the point? You want that inner zone, right? But yeah, he's figured out, okay, that's full. So what he could do, actually, is send it all the way around and come over here. Use that Helo momentum. Cutting through the backline is faster, but the enemy AA tends to be around in the backline. And of course, you can see a Stinger and so on. So, yeah, really interesting strat. I mean, people can play the game however they want. I'm always conscious of, like, you know, how should I pitch this? Should I say the optimum way to play? I don't know. You can't please everybody. But yeah, Blue's done a good job of capitalizing on the fact that Red is not really reinforcing his zones. I suppose he lost the CV there when this blob came in. And yeah, okay, so now he's supplying it. That's actually been sold. Yeah, I think Blue's next port of call. I mean, coming over here, obviously you can see there's nothing there, but that's generally not a good idea, because the enemy planes will come and kill you, and generally there should be ATGMs in here. Also, the Helo blob with all its ATGMs can come over and stop this. So your best bet is holding this, and then coming back for your own spawn, because it's closer to you. So you can reinforce it and attack from two directions, etc. I must say he is doing a good job using his artillery to whittle this down. Like I saw, you know, like a javelin fall before, and that's very smart. If you buy a gun, it should be firing all the time. It should be firing or repositioning all the time. That's back to the opportunity cost argument. But yeah, I think the main value of this is basically people react the wrong way. So you saw like he bought an F-16 seed plane for it. The A-10 would actually have been a much better shout. Like he has obviously got that out now, but the A-10, because it's got 1,000 rounds on that gun, you could just shoot them all with the gun. And yeah, if he bought like some ground units, which he has now bought, but when people see the Helo blob, the first instinct is always to panic and buy 10 trillion jets. And the jet will kill one helicopter. Oh, he ran out of bullets just before he killed that. The jet will kill one helicopter, and then like it costs you a minute's income to buy the jet. Your panic buy was the jet, whereas if you buy the Stinger, you can get 5 of those. Obviously the transports, right? So you can get 4. Well, okay, that's 280. You can sell the transports. You know what I mean? You can get a lot more Stingers than you can jet. And usually you know where it's going, right? But yeah, so we should now see... Oh, there is a javelin there, so maybe it'll hit him and then he'll rout. Okay, no, he's just going to go for it. Yeah, so... What? Okay, well, he just called off the attack, and now the javelin's going to get another shot in because he's just circling over it. And now he's been suppressed on miss to death. So that was a big shame. That was a big shame. I wanted to see the guns. Does this have smoke? He really needs to smoke. Wow. And you see that the power of suppress on miss. Look at that. One javelin suppressing all that. Because the Helo blob, you know. And yeah, you just need to spread out a bit more if you're going to do something like this. Because as you can see, that I'm pretty sure got 2 helicopters there. And the Stingers are just toasting him as he comes past. So where's he going? Like the zone is here, the zone is here. Now he's just going to here, which... It's not quite the spawn. And it's not either of these zones. So... And in the meantime, these guys have actually got to here because he didn't... Like, all he had to do was spare 1 or 2 Heloms and put them here, and this wouldn't have happened. But he wants to blob. That Eyehawk is moving. And it will die. Another thing you could do if you're red is buy the long-range RTPs, either the 107 or the 155 towed ones. And, you know, as you fly over all these targets, you start hitting the ones that your helicopters can't kill. Yeah, well, you got the most expensive one there. I personally probably would have gone for the CV. And then, yeah, like this Bradley could have been here shooting. So now they're going to get in there. But I think overall, blue is just taking far more favourable trades. Like next, this should be coming over here. He basically has this zone. He's just refusing to push it. Just send 1 unit forwards. This has 10 HP. You just send it forward, see what's there. Oh, it's only the CV. Then you kill it, right? Yeah, really interesting game. I think, yeah, most of the value from this strategy comes from the panic buys of the enemy. If the enemy responds optimally, this just never works. Because it's just way too expensive, right? This transport alone is 45 points. This Stinger is 50. And he's not selling any of them, right? He's just keeping them around till they die. And to be honest, not selling them might be the right strat because it just gives your enemy loads of targets that he has to shoot if he wants to do anything. And what blue can also be doing here is focusing on the CV, because this could go wherever it wants. But if you kill the CV, I think he will now shoot the CV simply because it's at the front. No, he went for the choke supply. And you see the power of the suppress on this. Look at this. They're all low cohesion. They're all panicking. But yeah, red should have covered this with some ASFs or something. Like, he's just letting himself get lit up. Now we'll finally see the A-10 come in. And yeah, blue should have focused on the CV one. Obviously, it's kind of hard to pick it out the clump. But there you go. And yeah, we're just yet to see that A-10 fire its gun, which is a big shame. It is kind of hard to micro, right? You got to have vision. I think that's probably blue's problem here. You probably can't see most of this. Because, look, right, you can always see that. You can't actually see any of this because the supply... Well, I suppose you can see that. Like, this guy can see that unit. Interesting. So that's going to get bombed now. I mean, it really should just get clustered to death. But then, like, this still has 2 missiles and guns. Like, he could have used that to shoot some of the things that are just harassing his whole force. But what a wild game. I mean, Blue still hasn't bothered to put CV in here. I think this one's going to die now. Yeah, now Red's getting back in there. He is actually starting to sell these. No, he's not. Okay. And then, like... Okay, so he's got 2 here, but like one of these could be put here, because they could just walk back in, and one of these could... I suppose he's got one there for that. He could put it in the building, it'd be a bit better. And then, you know, so now he's picking it back up again, but you're just going to get shot, right? He wants to get over here, I suppose. But you see, because this is in the trees, yeah, it's just taking a while. You need to evac this, really. Yes. Oh, okay, it still had a bomb. Yeah. Okay. So I think Red should put more fighters in his deck if he wants to do this. M1A1 Abrams having its engine destroyed by an 81mm mortar is definitely one of the takes of all time. You see, it's just outside the LOS there. And these guys, they will probably kill this, because they'll side-shot it. Oh, okay. No. Yeah? They missed, but the next one's going to be a side shot. They missed again. It's quite surprising, actually. Alright, well, I didn't expect... Because now, obviously, he's going to survive, because he's just front armor. But, yeah, if he'd hit that, I don't know, probably would have killed it. It's hard to tell what's going to happen, right? Because you might miss. You might miss. And now Red's building up his heli bomb again. But every time this happens, he takes horrendous losses, and Blue gets more units on the field. Blue just needs to do a little bit of a better job using his units. Right, so yeah, look, he's just going to drive back in, because these guys, there's nobody on this road. And like these guys, there should be one on this, one here, one here, one here, you know, instead of nothing. And so Blue is slowly bringing it back. We'll see if 10 minutes is enough for him to win. I mean, he's 1,000 points behind, but he's on a +2 now. I think he lost that arty piece. So that's one way of doing things, I suppose. Yeah. And yeah, you see Blue brought this over here to make sure this was empty. Although he might actually just lose this now. Okay, it survives. Then the F-16 gets it. So yeah, he's taking it back. Although now he's on 1 HP. I mean, to be honest, now he should be going forwards because the threat is dead. But I guess he doesn't actually know if this building is occupied because this isn't a recon unit, so he wouldn't actually know. But yeah, he should be like this should be there. Then bring that in. I'll send the Sea Knights over. You know, the 4 Sea Knights. Send that over. Kill everything. Or spot things for the A10. We finally saw that gun. It got nerfed. The gun used to be a lot better. It's a shame. It was like a double nerf, so they nerfed the range. The range was a bit stupid. It was like 3,000 meters. It was a bit daft. But they nerfed the AP as well, so it's not as good against armor, which I think is a big shame. But, you know, it's still decent, as you can see, mainly because the unit's so slow that it gets very good time on target. So, yeah, that's gonna die. Okay, so this finally got here, but I wish he would attack. Obviously, he doesn't see what we see, but you just try it. You just try it. You send 1 unit forwards and figure out what's going on. Like, he had the arty piece for a while. Obviously, it was doing other things, but the idea... Okay, so he's used to Sea Knights now. The idea is you spot somebody, and if you can fight him, you fight him. And if you can't, you just immediately fall back and then hit the building that they were in. It's a good strategy, and then obviously the counterplay to that is if somebody spots you, shoots you, and then runs away, you immediately swap to the next building. That's just a good strategy to get into. If your Milan shoots something, even if it misses, just move it to the next building. Because if you're against a good player, chances are the next thing coming the other way is a 155mm howitzer shell. So yeah, lots of bombers for Red. But I think just not enough fighters. I think you can get 2 cards of those Phantoms, and he only brought 1. Because, as you can see, he's basically lost their superiority. He's got the same number of planes, Well, okay, he's got less planes. But the fact is they're all bombers and stuff. So you'd expect this to go down. I mean, well, they're going to start target switching now. So, right, so he should have... Did he bomb the AA pieces? Yes, he did. It's a shame this one didn't go on the... Okay, so you've seen it now. Oh, it got suppress on missed by this rapier, I think. So there you go, suppress on miss, stopping air spam. Here we go, he's attacking now. So he will, when he gets to here, this, because it's not on return fire, but also because it's literally very close, he will eventually see this. So yeah, credit to Blue. He did a bit of panicking, but not too much. And you know, he could have been a little bit more aggressive in recapturing the zones, but he did a decent job. This is a very difficult strategy to play against because you don't practice it. That's the main thing. If you've seen it 3 times before, if it's happened to you 3 times before, you know what to do. But the first time is very difficult to react to it properly. But yeah, I really do like the new suppress on miss mechanics, because it makes you have to, you know, spread out a little bit, as opposed to just blobbing like a maniac. And yeah, helicopters take ages to land. That's another reason why the strat is suboptimal, and the maps aren't that big. So basically, the bigger the map, the better second UK is if it's a 1v1. So if you, when we played this like modded maps tournament, which I organised it. It's on the channel if you check the live tab and just scroll down through the live tab, you'll see it. And second UK was like the best division there because the maps were all quite large, and so you can, you know, the bigger the map, the better value you get out of helicopter transports, basically. But yeah, I think it's just a damn shame that Clement didn't reinforce any of it, because he definitely, I think... Oh, actually, is he going to... There's 5 minutes left, and it's only a +2, although this is going to get to there, which will be a +4. And then this... Okay. So my money is on Blue winning. But yeah, what was I saying? Sorry, I am a bit under the weather. So yeah, once you've taken this, basically you want to get to this house. Because then you... Or this house is better, because then you obviously see the reinforcements coming in, you can shoot them. Whereas if you're here, you can actually... I suppose you can see them, but you can't actually stop them. What was I saying? I can't remember. It was probably just, as usual, just another fascinating insight. Oh yeah, Red definitely could have won this. Easily. When he took this zone, he should have just, like, he literally bought 2 Helo Milan 2s and then didn't use them for 10 minutes while he built up the rest of his force. He should have just immediately sent them here. One there, one there. Blue wouldn't have been able to walk back in. And then, you know, keep the pressure up. Keep the pressure up. So this is something we've spoken about a few times. It was actually on this map last time. If you take a big chunk out of the enemy, let's say you killed a whole enemy force. Wow, good for you. And you still have 500 points remaining. Okay, so then there's an income tick. The enemy now has... So, initially, they've got nothing, right? They've got nothing. You've got 500 points, they've got 0 points because you killed everything. You're amazing. Obviously, they'll still have something, usually. But, just bear with me. Man, I wish I wasn't ill. I find it hard to elucidate. What were we talking about? So, you get 1 tick of income. The enemy now has 250 points, and you have 750, roughly, right? So, you have 3 times more points than the enemy. You're doing well. 2 minutes pass. The enemy now has 500 points, and you have 1,000. You now have 2 times more points than the enemy. You're doing not as well as you were before, right? And this just continues to scale. So by the time 10 minutes have passed, they just got 2,500 points, roughly, right? Obviously it's 260, not 250. So they now have 2,500 points. It's been 10 minutes, and you have 3,250 points, which actually is not actually sufficient. It doesn't matter anymore, right? So if you get a win, you need to get your reinforcements in the battle as fast as possible. And that's why people usually buy planes. which have their place, right? If there's a really sticky enemy in your push that you can't kill, plane is the best option because it's fast and it kills things. But it doesn't. Planes pay for themselves very, very, very slowly. Let's say you're a bomber and you bomb a Heimat Schutzen. You killed 40 points out of your 265 point bomber, right? So you got to do it 5 times if you wanna pay for yourself. Well, more even. So yeah, basically, as you can see from the KD, the helicopter strat is very wasteful, and as long as you don't panic, you'll eventually have such a massive kill advantage over your opponent that you can just walk in, which is what happened there. So GG. Yeah, it was a ballsy strat. You see, the artillery got a lot of value for money there. Um, yeah, I think Red, he did the shock and awe, and then he just failed to capitalize. He failed to capitalize on it. He got bogged down by the insurgents. And what can I say? GG. I'll see you around.